Hi everyone, Lori here, and I'm really grateful to be doing this practice with you. And this is the theme of our practice today is about gratitude and being open to receive, but also to give gratitude. And so we're going to be contrasting back bends with some forward bends in this practice today. And I want to talk about gratitude in a way that when things are tough and things are shaky and our ground doesn't feel secure, it's hard to give gratitude. And I would suggest that this is exactly the time to dig deep and find out what we are grateful for. And gratitude really is about this string of moments, even though there's dark moments in our life, it's this string of moments that bring us joy. So even practicing with you at this moment is a string of joy. I want to show some gratitude for a friend who stopped by and dropped this off in my garage. Look how beautiful that is. So shout out to my friend Johnny, who sent this to me or gave this to me. And, just looking at something like that on a regular basis is something to be joyful about. It's something to give gratitude towards. And in your darkest moments, and it's hard, I know it's hard when fear and anger and distress consume us. I would offer that we give that up. We give that up to a higher universe, to a God, if you so wish, and just let go of that long enough just to show and give gratitude, because it is those moments that we rejoice. It's those moments that joy is cultivated. So let's get onto our mat and practice gratitude. I'm going to move my beautiful flower to my side that is going to inspire me. I'm going to ask you to stand at the top of your mat and just enjoy feeling, again, the ground below you, the earth below you. Let your shoulders float down behind you and just give your breath to your body in a way that is meaningful. So when you inhale, feel it come in through your mouth or your nose. And when you exhale, imagine that same beautiful breath leaving your body and leaving with any trepidation or uncertainty that you might have, and just being okay with showing up, being fully on your mat. Through another inhalation, let it draw itself towards your rib cage, towards your pelvis, into your feet. And then just let your exhalation draw its way around you. Think of the space as it surrounds your skin, your body. Maybe start to wiggle your toes and your fingers in a way that awakens your body in a different way. And just inhale your arms all the way to the top. I want you to grab your right wrist. So take the wrist, lift it all the way up, maybe your left, whatever it is, and just take the side bend. Feel that left side body really pushing into the ground. And then come back to center. Inhale the arms all the way up. And then grab your other wrist and just draw yourself over to the other side and just welcome that beautiful side bend. And then come back to center. And then just exhale and draw yourself into a forward fold. Go ahead and welcome your feet, your toes. Bend your knees enough so that it doesn't feel awkward or strained. Let your head and neck relax. And then inhale, swoop yourself all the way up, come up to standing. And then exhale, fold over, let it go. Inhale, come all the way up to lifting the hands up. And then exhale, let it go. Inhale and float the body halfway up. Draw your heart forward. When you exhale and fold forward again, I want you just to feel the stretch in the back of the legs. And then just kind of bend your knees to and fro, kind of like you're pedaling your heels in downward facing dog, except here you're standing. So you're going to shift your hips side to side, maybe even put a bend in your elbow. Let your head, neck, and shoulder relax, and then just come into a little bit of stillness in that forward fold. I'm going to move to the top of my mat. If you're not there, then go there. And then bring your hands to the ground. Bring your right knee down and back, and then your left. Coming into tabletop, I want you to recognize your fingers. Just spread them way, way out. And then just go ahead and bring a few cat and cows to life. So just take your own breath with you as your shoulders, hips, back, they all really extend. And then try a really big cat. So just tuck your tailbone under your head, your neck, draw your shoulders away, and then draw a really big cow. Drop your belly, look up, see if you can lift your forehead even higher. Extend out of your arms, and then come back to stillness, tabletop. And then just move your gaze behind your shoulder either way. Take your arms, bring them to the top of your mat. Take your hips to your heels and come into a modified child's pose, resting your head to the ground and feeling your elbows on the ground. Let yourself just kind of sit here in a moment and see if you can conjure up a moment of gratitude here. Are you happy to be practicing? Are you grateful to giving yourself this time? Be grateful. Push down into the pads of your fingers. As you bring your body back up, you're going to find yourself in a modified plank. Extend your hands under your shoulders. Feel a little more powerful here as you take your heart, draw it to the back body, and then exhale, come back into that modified child's pose. Take a breath. Give it to your body, and as you exhale, come back into that modified plank. Toes curled under. I want you to take your knees off the ground. Come into a full plank here. Feel yourself quite strong. And then exhale the body. Come into downward, your first downward facing dog. And here, exercise your heels again. Just draw them down and back. Really stretch the sides of your body. And then waterfall yourself all the way back into high plank, maybe needing to move your heels back, your knees back, and then drop to your knees. Walk the hands to your knees and just pause in kneeling. Inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, float back down into tabletop. We're going to come through that flow again. Hands come all the way to the top of your mat. Send your hips to your heels. Pause here. Inhale, float all the way body up into low plank, maybe right away into high plank, and then float the knees off into high plank, and then back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels again. Go ahead and arrive in the body, and then come way, way up onto your tippy toes. Send your tailbone up and away, and draw your heels down. As you bring your body back into a full plank, drop to one knee and then the other, coming back into that kneeling posture. Inhale, rise all the way up. And then go ahead and interlace the fingers behind your head. So really cup the bottom of your skull. Draw your elbows together, keep looking up, and then lift your elbows up to the ceiling. And you're starting to live in a back bend now. You're starting to feel the effects of the back bend through the legs and the hips. Pause here. Then just release your arms. Keep your spine where it is. And now you're in a full extension of the front body. Feel that openness from the top of your hips. And then take your hands, bring them over your elbows, elbows over your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Bring your hands to heart and pause here. Inhale. Exhale. Draw your hands to your hips. You're going to take your front foot or your right foot. Bring it forward. You're coming into like 90-90 on the legs. Stay here for a full breath. Push down into the front foot. So coming into a very powerful back bend now. Push down into the front foot with the back toes curled under. You're going to do is stay with the hips and front leg where it is and just lift that back knee off the ground. So coming into high lunge. Draw your rib cage back. As soon as you do that, you're going to start to feel the pull, that stretch in the back hip. Inhale the arms all the way up again. Exhale, bring the hands, cup the skull, bring your elbows together, and then lift your elbows to the sky. Again, feeling that beautiful stretch in the body. Release the arms and come into a beautiful, almost like an exalted lunge. Stay here. Now keep the beautiful, strong legs where they are. Start to bring your rib cage all the way over, coming into a strong abdominal posture. Pause here, and then bring your hands to either side of your foot. Bend the back leg. You're going to take that front foot, swing it back, downward facing dog. Stretch the sides of your body. Draw attention to the length, and then float back down onto your hands and knees. Bring your hands to your hips again. Pause here. You're going to come onto the other leg, your back leg or your left leg, and come into that. Just a little bit of a 90-90 again on the legs. So with the toes curled under in the back, you're going to curl the toes under and lift the knee off again, coming into that high lunge. Again, a very powerful posture. Inhale the arms all the way up. Interlace the fingers, bring them to the base of your skull again. Bring your elbows together, lift them to the sky, and feel what it's like as it tugs the top hip so you feel that stretch. Stay where you are or release the arms. Come into that exalted lunge. Feel the power of opening up. Embrace a breath here. And then exhale, move forward. You're going to pause here and maintain a strong core. And then exhale, take your hands down to either side of the foot. Bend the back leg. You're going to take that front foot again and swing it back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal your heels again. Use every downward facing dog as an invitation just to give the body that beautiful drink of stretch. Send the hips high, and then bend the knees. Look at the top of your mat. Walk, step, or jump forward into forward fold. Forward fold. So a beautiful counter pose. As you lengthen the spine, let the head hang. Feel what it's like to live in the back of your legs. Be grateful that you can stretch in this posture. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Go ahead, bend the knees. Inhale, scoop the body all the way up. Come into tall, tall mountain. Hands come to heart center, and just pause here for a breath. Continuing with the stretch for the hips so that we can really live in our back bends. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees. Lift the legs all the way up. Take the hands to the ground. Walk, step, or jump back into high push-up or low push-up, coming through a flow here. Bring the heart between the thumbs and then scoop the body up, coming into a little back bend. We know this is cobra. You want a bigger back bend or a more powerful back bend. Come into upward facing dog. Legs are off the ground. Curl the toes under. Downward facing dog. Stretch the sides of your body. Exhale. Good. Bend the knees. Look at the top of your mat. You're going to take the right knee and bring it all the way to the right elbow. Pause there. A little bit of power there. Exhale. Come all the way to three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Stack the hips. Use weight in both arms the same way. Equalize that. Come back all the way around. Bring the knee back to the right wrist and pause there. Okay, you're going to shimmy that back foot a little further back and then just come onto your buttock. So come on to roll over onto your buttock and then move your leg up a little bit so that your shin kind of starts to look like it's parallel to the top of your mat. So this is a modified pigeon pose. So the outer thigh getting a big stretch on the front leg, the back hip really finding length. And then you're just going to move your hands just a little closer to your waist. Stay here for a full breath. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe shimmy that foot back a little further. And then walk your hands forward. Pause just for a moment here on your elbow. So not coming all the way forward. Just taking your breath into your hips, recognizing that wide range of motion in the hip. So the wider, the more motion, the more space we put on our hips, the easier our back bends become. Go ahead and walk up onto the hands and pause here. Curl the back toe under, lift the knee off the ground, and then go ahead, come into that beautiful downward facing dog.
option to come to a flow or you stay in downward facing dog. If you're going to a flow, go ahead and draw the body into high or low plank. Float the body down into cobra or upward facing dog. And then everyone's back in downward facing dog. Okay, bend your knees significantly. This time it's the back leg or the left leg. The knee comes to the left elbow and pause. Exhale, draw it all the way up and around. And feel the opening in the left side body. Be equal to both arms. So manage that the right armpit is puffed out. Come all the way back. Bring the knee back under towards the elbow. Pause. Exhale, come to three-legged dog. And then we're going to come back into the knee comes all the way under again. This time the knee drops to the left wrist. Shimmy the leg back again. And then just roll over onto your buttock. So giving yourself the moment to readjust. Taking the foot, if you like, and bringing it up the best you can. And then drawing the hips back side by side. Now just pause here for a moment. So too often we think gratitude should just come to us. And really it's about working towards it, right? So being grateful little by little. Pause here for another breath. Maybe walk your fingertips back a little further. Inhale. Exhale. And then just slowly walk the arms forward. Let yourself just come into a small point of reflection, or maybe there's something that you can soften here. And wherever it is, just kind of reflect to the motion, to the fact that we can move, the beautiful, beautiful gift that we have. Inhale, feel your chest become buoyant. Exhale, let it go. And then bring your hands back up. Curl the toes under and then float all the way back to downward facing dog. Go ahead and enjoy that nice stretch through the legs, preparing again for a back bend. Send the hips high, bend the knees, look at the top of your mat, walk, step, or jump forward into forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, let it go. Bend the knees, inhale, rise all the way up. And then bring your hands to heart, settle. Settle here for a breath. Consider the movement that we just went through and how your body was engaged fully, sometimes without even noticing. Be grateful, be noticing, be aware. Inhale the arms all the way up again. And then exhale, let it go. Bring your hands to the ground. Take the right knee down and back, and then the left. And then you're going to bring your hands back under and then over, and you're just going to come back into that kneeling posture. So we did a little bit about this before. So we've had some time to open through the hips. So coming into camel pose, I am coming into a modified camel pose. So somewhere in this posture, you're going to come into the full expression of your back bend. So I want you just to kind of bring your knees under your hips. So very strong. The legs are basically perpendicular. So I want you to caution here, that when you pull into a back bend, and we're going to get there, but when you pull into the back bend, if you come past this 45-degree angle on your back and you're trying to reach back, there's a pressure put on your lower back. So I like doing my camel poses where we don't reach for our heels, but rather we work more on the upper body back bend. So let's do that. Inhale the arms all the way up. Interlace the fingers. You've been here before. Cup the base of your skull. Bring your elbows together and then draw your elbows to the ceiling. As you do so, push deeply into the thighs. So keep your hips moving forward. When you do so, again, you're going to feel maybe a little bit of pressure on the lower back. Okay, keep lifting through the spine. Take the arms now, one up and then the other.
So again, my legs stay perpendicular to the ground, so not bending at the lower back. Now, if you want to emphasize this a little more, you could stay reaching up. There's a lot of strength here. Or you could take your arms all the way back. You can try to make it so that your fingertips are lifted up. I'm going to take a side view here, but notice my legs stay perpendicular to the ground. I always kid that that's a big word, but it's long here. If you want more of this back bend, try drawing your shoulders closer together, your elbows closer together. Try not to rely on the lower back, but feel. You should feel this right in the breast, right in the chest, almost like you're trying to show off your breastbone. Inhale here. Exhale. And then draw your heart over your rib cage and release. Good. You're just going to come down onto your hips and just pause here for a breath. So hips come to the heels and just relax for a full breath. And just be noticeable here. Just realize and be aware that it's our immediate reaction is to go into a forward fold, but I want you to settle that first. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Good. And then instead of a forward fold, we're going to take a twist and an extension. Okay? So just move your hips off of your heels and take the top foot. So in my case, it's my right ankle. I'm going to put it over my left arch of my foot and just come into a tall body. So there's a gentle twist here. I love using my fingers to give me height. Okay, and then take that back arm. So my right arm is going to go over to my left thigh. Bring my head over to my shoulder and relax here. Exhale, maybe come even a little further into that, but always thinking about how the spine right now is actually kind of in an S shape. And then you're going to take your gaze and move it from the back of the shoulder all the way over to the other shoulder. So talk about giving the spine the twisted support. Keep your chin lifted. And then release, come back to center. You're going to keep that arm behind you. Okay, and then take that top leg, so it's my right leg, extend it out. You're going to roll onto that knee and then come into a giant stretch for the entire front body. Here's where you can even take that arm and bring it behind you to feel the fascial stretch. And there's this engagement of the whole body. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, go ahead and take your hips back down. Beautiful. And then bring that knee back in, and you're just going to slide over to the other side. Okay? So here, my left ankle, finding a little spot in my right arch of my foot. Take your fingertips, lift tall, belong here. And then take that left arm, cross it across your body over to the right. The other arm can come back slightly. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Have a look over your shoulder. Draw your breath long as you inhale one more time. Oh, hello, little girl statue. Take your head, draw it all the way over to the other side. Pause here. Exhale. Good. You're going to come back to center again. You're going to take this backhand, let it rest behind you, and you're going to take that top leg, extend it, and then we'll roll up and over onto the knee and extend the body fully. Take every ounce of air you can with your whole body. It's a beautiful stretch for that front side. Maybe even bring your arm behind you slightly. And then exhale, come all the way back down. Good. Bring your knees into your chest, okay? Bring your knees in tight. And instead of kind of rounding yourself out, lift yourself up. So get your sitting bones good and plenty. Bring your feet in as close as possible and stay here. Inhale. Exhale. Nicely done. Then you're going to take your feet back. So we're coming back lengthwise on the mat. Bring your hands behind you. Just allow them to kind of be somewhere under your elbows. You can take a peek behind. Bring your knees in a little closer so your feet are closer. You're going to push into the tops of your fingers, the tops of your feet, and then lift the hips up. Come into a reverse tabletop. This is a really nice kind of counter pose to a lot of the back bends that we've been doing. And then exhale, drop the hips down again. You could do that again, or you can bring your feet long and come into a reverse plank. This takes a little more power for the shoulders, so just find what works for you. The intention here is just to be stretched in the front body. So you push into the fingers, and as you lift the hips, the feet come down, we lift up, and we pause here. It's a very strong posture. And then exhale, come all the way down. Good. Keep your feet on the ground, knees are bent, come down to your elbows and then to your backs. And then just bring your arms to cactus or to T. And then just swing the hips side to side with the knees. So you're really embracing and kind of untucking the spine. So really giving it space every time your knees go side to side. And then just pause with your knees into one side. Lift your head and look in the other direction. When you inhale, feel the top of your hip. Let it absorb itself. Lift your head, come back to center. Bring your knees back up, and then let them float all the way to the other side. Lift your head and look in the other direction. Pause here again. Let your breath find the top of your hip. Exhale, let it go. And then just bring your knees back to center. I'm just going to get you to lengthen your legs now. Let your arms be long. And take a few moments in Shavasana. I'm going to sit up and join you a bit closer to your screen and just provide you a few moments of rest, a few moments of what feels like recovery. And in this moment, in these few moments that you have to recover, to feel like you have absorbed your practice, I want you just to keep your eyes closed if you can. Feel your body on your mat, your feet, your legs, your torso, your shoulders, your arms, your head. See if there's a moment for you to relax your jaw and your eyes. And just bring your breath a little closer to your senses. Whatever it is that you feel it fully. Name it. And see if there's a spot, a place, an opening for gratitude at this moment. What are you grateful for? What brings you joy? Picture it. Let it be a part of your body, your mind, your thoughts. And as though your conscious is kind of tapping on you, let yourself become a little more aware of where you're at. Let your fingers move, your toes move, your knees and your elbows. And go ahead and bring them close into your body, both legs, tight. And then just taking the backs of your legs and rocking side to side. And when you're ready, float up to seated, and I'll join you in seated. And in seated, we'll bring our hands to heart center in the Anahata Mudra. This is the mudra of the heart. And we come together and we show gratitude simply by showing up for your practice. a deep, deep sense of gratitude from me to you. Namaste. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this short practice, and we'll catch you next time on a mat. What are you grateful for? Have a great day.